Hello, everybody. This is Mark Schreier from Century 21 American Homes Real Estate with Quentin, my mortgage professional from Movement Mortgage. For all those people, there's a magic term out there, or maybe it was always thought of as a bad term. Cryptocurrency, aka Bitcoin, is the more generic name that some people know about, not everybody. And the question is, how does cryptocurrency come into play when you're dealing with a mortgage? If I have most of my assets, which I don't, but if I had most of my assets in cryptocurrency and I'm applying for a mortgage, how does that affect the numbers, Quentin?
That's a great question, a tricky question, and one that we really don't know the full answer yet as it is still developing. A few years ago, I had a gentleman try to use Bitcoin to make a purchase, and the problem was that we couldn't trace it. We didn't, and this is years before Bitcoin was a big hit. This may be 7 years ago, 6 years ago. I hope the guy kept his Bitcoin and didn't sell it, but we couldn't figure out where the money came from. The account is in a number, not a name, so we couldn't even prove it was really his money. Right. Nowadays, there are more and more ways to do it, but it all comes down to traceability. Can we show where the money came from? If you have an account that has a number only and we cannot prove that that number is your account, or that you put the money in there or you took the money out, then we can't really use that. Not too long ago, there was a gentleman in Seattle who used Bitcoin as his 10% down payment. And the lender had to check with Fannie Mae to make sure this was legit and okay. And what Fannie Mae ruled was as long as they could see how much he paid to buy the Bitcoin, the history of what he'd done, and show that he'd now converted the Bitcoin into US dollars, we were fine, and Fannie Mae allowed him to use it for his down payment. But understand that traceability and that tracking, the account had his name on it. He could show account statements of when he bought it, what he paid, his cost basis, all these things. Most people may not have that. And if you can't trace it and prove it, that's the problem. Now, part of what Bitcoin was supposed to be was an ability to have anonymous transactions, and understand that a bank wants the exact opposite. Nothing is anonymous. So if you've been trading your Bitcoin and buying your Bitcoin in an anonymous fashion, it most likely will not be able to be used because we can't prove that it's yours, or if it ever was yours, etc. If it was not used, not purchased, and not managed in an anonymous fashion, then you might have a shot at it. But that's all the more reason to have your loan fully underwritten up front, because you don't want to have a surprise a week before closing that your down payment doesn't count.
Okay, great answer. I pretty much expected that answer because Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is still pretty new. The banks, if you ask me, are a little allergic to it. But I think as they realize that more and more people, particularly the younger generation, are starting to get more into cryptocurrency, and it's going to be more of a mainstay. Again, Mark and Quentin here, and thanks for watching. Bye.